Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Dapper is a lightweight ORM, object-relational mapping, library for .NET that provides a simple way to interact with databases. It is particularly well suited for accessing complex objects, where you may want to map the results of a SQL query to a class with nested objects or collections. Prerequisites. Before getting started, ensure you have 1. .NET SDK installed on your machine. 2. SQL Server or any compatible database. 3. A project set up with Dapper installed. You can install Dapper via NuGet Package Manager. Bash. .NET Add Package Dapper. Setting up the database. For this tutorial, let's assume we have a SQL Server database with the following schema. SQL. Create table authors. Author ID int primary key. Name nvarchar, 100. Create table books. Book ID int primary key. Title nvarchar, 100. Author ID int foreign key references authors, author ID. Creating the models. Next, we will create C classes that correspond to our database tables. Sharp. Public class author. Public int author ID get, set. Public string name get, set. Public list book books get, set, equals new list book. Public class book. Public int book ID get, set. Public string title get, set. Public int author ID get, set. Accessing complex objects with Dapper. To access complex objects, you can use Dapper's query method to retrieve data from multiple tables and map it to your classes. Here's an example of how to do this. Sharp. Using system. Using system.collections.generic. Using system.data.sql client. Using system.link. Using Dapper. Class program. Static void main, string args. String connection string equals your connection string here, / update with your connection string. Using, var connection equals new SQL connection, connection string. Connection.open. / SQL query to join authors and books. String SQL equals at. Select a.author ID, a.name, b.book ID, b.title. From authors A. Left join books B on a.author ID equals b.author ID. / execute the query and fetch results. Var authors dict equals new dictionary int, author. Var authors equals connection.query author, book, author. SQL. Author, book, equals. If, authors dict.try get value, author.author ID, out var author entry. Author entry equals author. Authors dict.add, author entry.author ID, author entry. If, book, equals null. Author entry.books.add, book. Return author entry. Split on, book ID // this tells Dapper where the next object starts. Distinct, to list. / print out the authors and their books. For each, var author in authors. Console.read align, $author, author.name. For each, var book in author.books. Console.read align, $t book, book.title. Explanation of the code. 1. Connection. We create a connection to the SQL Server using SQL connection. 2. SQL query. We write a SQL query that joins the authors and books tables. 3. Dapper query. We use query author, book, author method where the first type represents the primary object, author, the second type is the related object, book, and the last type is the return type, author. The lambda function, author, book, allows us to map the results. We check if the author is already in our dictionary, and if not, we add them. We then add any books associated with that author. For split-on parameter, the split-on parameter tells Dapper where the next object starts in the query result, in this case, after book ID. 5 output, finally, we loop through the authors and print their names and associated books. Conclusion. Using Dapper to access complex objects is straightforward and efficient. This tutorial demonstrates how to map nested objects with ease, making it a suitable choice for applications needing to work with relational data in a more intuitive way. Adjust the code as needed for your specific database and requirements.